Hello everyone, this is Nate, also known as Big MC Nate, back again with another YouTube video. It is Monday, October something, 28th? Yeah, 28th sounds right. Yeah, 28th sounds right, because the 25th is Friday, I think. Yeah, today's Monday, October 28th. And it is 1:10 in the afternoon. I am off work today. You'll have to forgive the lack of videos in the past week. Work has been extremely time-consuming these past couple of weeks, and I have been backlogging content again to prep myself for the winter, but there's been enough changes that I think it warrants an update video. So as you can very clearly see, I am on neither the Super Cub, very, very far departure from the Super Cub, nor am I on the Harley, Captain Jack the Road King. I no longer own Captain Jack the Road King. I traded it, actually, for this, and I'll do a separate video about this and my reasoning and my decisions on it later. But I traded it for this Yamaha FJR 1300, and I will, hands down, say I should have done it sooner, but again, more on that in a later video. But, quick channel update, obviously the Road King is gone. Work has been extremely busy. I have been pulling long days. I'm helping stand up a newer team where I work at, and that's been consuming a fair chunk of my time. And it's really good. There's a lot of good that's going to come out of it. Just have new growing pains to get through first, and that's pretty typical of new teams. So, I knew what I was signing up for. It's by no means a complaint. I was actually in Seattle last week for work. I flew out on Sunday and flew back on Friday, so this is the first day I finally felt normal enough to really get in front of behind a camera and do any sort of narration. I've been riding for the past couple of days. I didn't really ride a whole lot on Saturday, just ran errands that couldn't be done while I was out. So I spent a good bit of time yesterday just lounging around. Actually worked with a buddy of mine, John. Did some network troubleshooting where he works. I mentioned it before, but I do IT for a living, and I was doing some network troubleshooting yesterday. We had a link that was flapping. We couldn't figure out why, so what turned into a lunch between two friends sort of turned into work, but that's all right. So it was good to see John. I'm actually going to see him and his wife today once I'm done at Cycle Gear, which, much to my chagrin, the Cycle Gear that I frequented was the Cycle Gear in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was always such a nice ride to get there. It was right along the Susquehanna River, and I'd usually stop at Duke's Riverside Bar and Grill to get lunch afterwards. I'd usually ride up in the morning, get lunch, and then ride home. And much to my chagrin, Cycle Gear there has closed. And their website lists the location is permanently closed. The Google shows the same thing, so I have no idea what's happening. I noticed the store itself was in this shared retail space, and there was a Starbucks, and I want to say an H&R Block next to it, I think. I don't recall what was there. And both of them are long gone, too. So my only assumption is that location wasn't turning a profit, or their lease was up and the property owner wanted to demo it. But whatever the case may be, that Cycle Gear is no longer with the world. So, oh well. I'm actually heading to one that we visited during the Life of Birch meetup this year. Fran, Jeremiah from The Ride of a Lifetime, Slight Moto, Rick, Tim, a bunch of us went to get some rain gear, since it turned out to be a bit of a soggy meetup. So I'm heading back to that same location. Haven't been there a whole lot. They are pretty big. They're one of the larger Cycle Gears in the area. There's another one I could go to in Springfield, Virginia, but I don't much feel like dealing with Virginia traffic today, at least not that side of Virginia. I'm going to get some of it here, but it's going to be more from 95 and 495 versus dealing with 66 and Route 28. So, moving on to channel updates besides the bikes, I'm working on rebranding, and I have had this idea of rebranding floating around for the past couple months now. because I want to make the channel brand independent. I think that's the word. But long and the short, I don't want any particular bike or any particular brand to end up ruling the channel, since I've had a Suzuki, a Harley, a Honda PCX, a Honda Super Cub, and now a Yamaha on the channel. I guess Tales from the Road King really doesn't apply anymore, so in the coming days I'm going to work on tearing down my channel art and going for a much more brand neutral the channel and slogan, and we'll see. I haven't quite determined what I want to do. I've ran some ideas for a group of buddies. Now I just kind of want to put it to a vote and then work to get art made for it. I'm not a fan. We use AI art to start, but then I usually like to have an artist friend of mine touch it up, and I pay him a couple of bucks to touch it up, whatever he and I determine is fair. I like to pay people for their time, especially since it's something that it's a hobby for him, but if I can pay him to do his hobby, and that just makes the hobby a little easier for him to do. So, we started off in Brunswick, actually, Life of Birch rode through there a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, it's good to see that you're going through my stomping grounds. Makes the world feel a little bit smaller. So, started off there, and to get to Glen Burnie, it's, I think, north of Baltimore. My maps aren't too great in my head. So, I have to take 70 to get there, and this is proven to be a kind of perilous, transition from 70 to 270 here, and I need to jump over one lane, which at 1:20 in the afternoon should be easy. We'll see what happens. In talks of upgrades, a new helmet is definitely on the list, because I've got a Harley Davidson branded helmet. It's I think either somebody, I don't know, Harley either makes their own helmets or somebody makes helmets for Harley. I don't know, but this one is starting to really show its signs of age. I could probably replace the liner and some of the pads and get away with getting another year out of it, but I'm kind of ready to upgrade to another helmet. Alright, you're going to get over, and then I'm going to get over. That was easy. So, I'm to the point I like to upgrade to something a little bit quieter. And, as I've spoken about before, Schubert, Shoei, whatever, and Rurrock are the top three candidates still. And part of what I'd like to do while I'm at the Cycle Gear is actually get my hand in a couple of these to just see what looks good, what feels good. Because if they have a good enough deal, I could definitely be convinced to bite the bullet on one today. So Fran and Jeremiah went up to Niagara Falls, and it was a shame because I was really hoping to join them, but work travel. Jeremiah was joking with me in one of our group chats we've got going on, like, I'll give you 24 hours, dude. I landed in Dulles Airport at 5:30, I think, on Friday or something like that. He goes, I'll give you at least 24 hours to get up to New York before we head home. And don't get me wrong, part of my brain debated it. I'm like, well, if I hit the road, I got home at like 7. It's like, well, if I pack real quick and hit the road, I can probably pack a couple of days worth of clothes in one of the pannier bags on the bike. I've got enough gear. I've got my heated gloves that are charged and ready to go. I semi-seriously thought about it, but the jet lag was killing me. I had finally, the thing about jet lag is what gets me, right, is, I flew out Sunday, and then I woke up between 1 and 2 hours too early every day I was there, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, my final full day of being there, I woke up 3 minutes before my alarm, and that was my body had finally told me it had adjusted to the time difference, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Normally it does it faster, and this time it chose not to. I don't know what difference it is, or what difference it was. But look twice, save a life. Yes. I don't know what difference there was this time that caused my brain to take longer to adjust. It beats me. But I wasn't about to go ride 7 hours up to New York with jet lag brain. Because it was this morning I finally woke up and felt somewhat normal again. Like my brain had got everything dialed back into Eastern time from Pacific time. I managed to lose my 256 gig SD card that I put in this camera. I have no idea where it went. It was on my desk, and now it's gone. So I've got an 8 gig SD card in there now, but Jesus. 72, that guy just flies by us. What the hell? But I have an 8 gig SD card in here now, which means I can only record 30 minutes of footage at 1080p, 30 frames a second. And I'm gonna have to either source a new SD card or really pull my desk and office apart and see if I can't find where my 256 went. Although if I end up getting more cameras, having more cards might actually be a decent idea, because I could get probably a little over a couple hours of footage, I want to say, when I was recording 30 frames a second on 256 gig SD card at 1080. So this video is also serving as a test to see how I'm going to have to get the audio dialed in on this bike, if I'm going to have to change any settings here in the Cardo app, or if the settings that I've got that I had set up for the Harley and the Super Cup will work, because this bike is probably going to end up blocking a lot more audio with this giant windshield, which is honestly blocking probably the north of 80% of the wind from me. And as you saw in the beginning, it's also electrically controlled, so it goes up and down. This is not stock. The previous owner of this bike put this V-Stream touring windshield on, and I'm glad they did. It's a huge difference. Get so much more air off of me. Something's not right with this bike.
I've got a flat. Yep, I got a flat. Well, that all but ends this video here. I gotta sort this out now. Well, that's just a magnet. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go call someone, and hopefully I can get bailed out of this. So, until next time, thank you all for watching.